Welcome back. Welcome back. Trade Shark JC back. We're looking at the market again. Yesterday, if you guys seen the live, I was able to put together my tick list for this week. Now, my tick list is pretty long. Like I said, it's like 25 to 30 tickers that I'm looking at. My main ticker list has like 180 tickers that I kind of follow. So usually I will work on isolating the top 10-20% of stocks that I see that might have some good movement this week. I'm not always right, but sometimes you just have to isolate certain tickers that you want to watch during the week. And this is how I typically like to do that. So I've narrowed it down to 27. And at the end of the video, we're going to talk about, or the end of this live, we're going to talk about my top 10 that I'm really anticipating for this week, that I'm curious about this week. And also, if you subscribe, not if you subscribe, I will have this in a PDF format. It'll be linked to the description of this video, as well as some other shorts I have planned for this week. So make sure you check the description. Also, if you want to add my ticker list to your TradingView, there'll also be a link in the description to show you to automatically put what I'm following onto your list as well. So that should be pretty helpful for you guys, so we can follow along. And also, if you feel like there's some stocks that you think that I don't have that could be trending up or trending down, either way, make some big gains, post it in the comment section below. I would like to hear from you guys and understand what you guys are looking at as well, so we can help each other. This is a collaborative effort. Like I said, I'm a beginner stock option trader. I'm just sharing things that I'm looking at to make me better and also help other people that are in the same position I am or looking to start. All right, let's get into it. All right, first let's start with Tesla. And let me look at, I got some notes here on some of the stocks. I didn't break down all of them. Like I said, it's 27, but I will break down everything and have that in my PDF file so you guys can kind of follow along with that. Initially, like I said, it's going to be simple notes, and then we'll get better over time. I just want to get in the swing of things and making sure people have things to kind of follow along with, as it's a living document, right? It's a living document, so I think people have follow along just in case they don't physically have me to talk to. All right, so let's look at Tesla. Tesla is up on a daily, up on a quarter. Let me see if I can shrink this a little bit. As you can see here, and what I'm talking about is when we say up on a daily, up on a quarter, we're talking about this little thing right here. This is basically giving you what we call time frame continuity. So on the hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly, quarter time frame, we're looking to see where we are. And what we typically like to see is full time frame continuity. That means all of these are either red or all of these are looking green, right, to show us a good directional indication of where the stock is going. And this one is a mixed bag. This is something I'm filing under just to keep a watch on. So half of these probably you want to keep a watch on, and the other half we definitely are looking to maybe trade this week. So what I have is we went below the daily 50. So what we on hour? Let's look at the daily. So we went below the daily 50. So the 50%, if you guys are familiar with Sarah the Sniper, right? She has a methodology where you're looking at stocks as they go above and below the 50% mark, and typically stocks can bounce off of that. So it's really important to kind of know where the 50% mark. And for us, what we learned in Teach.Trade is sometimes you can look at the 25% mark to catch it before you get to that 50% mark, and just kind of see where you're going. As you see, all these lines are just kind of ranges where we might be trading in a range for Tesla, right? Last week, if we looked at the weekly, I don't want to stay on this too long. I want to kind of get through all of them and give you my 10 stocks that I'm watching this week. So I don't want to be too long on this live. All right, so the weekly range, right? We went from 417 last week, not 417. That's the week before. I'm sorry, we went to like 445 and went as low as 415, which is a good, $30 range, right? So we might stay in that range. We could potentially, we're looking like we might want to reverse back up to maybe the weekly 50%, which would be 434, and maybe go back up to this high 440. This is something we got to keep watch of for Tesla. Tesla had earnings last week, so it might even get back up to 452. So we definitely want to keep a watch on Tesla. And Tesla, I believe, is pretty affordable this week. So I'm going to keep my eye on Tesla this week. This is something we want to keep our eye on. The next one is Eli Lilly. Right, so Eli Lilly, I believe, has earnings on Wednesday. So Eli Lilly seems to be up on the quarter and the daily. So we could, we actually, if we look at Friday, right, looks like we've been trending up. We actually, looks like we went up on, we came back down on the 50%, and then we headed past it. So we could be going back. Eli Lilly, depending on the price, Eli Lilly could be going back to 1,070. Currently, we are at 1037, so that's a $40 price swing. So you might want to get into Eli Lilly, or it could be going back down to all the way down here. We don't know, so we want to keep an eye on the daily 50% and see where we're going. Like if it, I'm curious. This is something we want to watch. We don't really have a directional play. It might reverse, right? We could reverse, maybe lose $20 and come back down to the week low. I don't know. This is something that could happen in the day if we look at the daily, but it's definitely something we want to keep watch of moving forward, because you can make a lot of money on Eli Lilly on the right day. So we'll keep watching this on the daily. Next is Baba. So Baba, we're down on the daily, down on the weekly, down on the quarter. The reason I want to watch Baba is we could go down. Monday's going to tell us a lot. We could come all the way back down to 161, which isn't a lot, or we could reverse all the way back up to 130, right? Let's see on the week, right? We are consolidating on the week. So, like I said, it's looked like we passed the weekly 50%, which was 171, and we could come all the way back down to, like I said, 161, 160. And it may even come down to 157. So Baba, we definitely want to keep an eye on. Contracts are very affordable. We definitely want to keep our eye on Baba, right? We passed we went under the daily low, which means we successfully passed the 2 down on Friday. So we could drop a little bit more. So definitely keep your eye on Baba, maybe even puts for this upcoming week, right? So we want to keep Baba on the list. Next is American Express. American Express had earning Friday. But the reason I want to keep an eye on American Express is, we're down on pretty much the daily, weekly, even on the hour, right? We're up on the hour, and the 4 hour, which could give us indication of maybe a potential reversal, right? We came down during Friday when we started to move back up, so we could move back up into the 359 trading range. American Express, let's look at it from a contract cost standpoint. What am I looking at? Switch to call. Doesn't look like it's a lot of volume, so I'm not really heavy into American Express. Not enough volume for me. But it is something to keep an eye on as we kind of went through the tickers. It could reverse back up to 359, 360. But it's not one of the main items I wanted to look at. But we definitely want to put on a ticker because it could move in one day and make us a good amount of money. So we definitely want to keep an eye on American Express, and just the financial sector as a whole could be looking to rebound if we look at XLF. This is on the hour. Let's look at the day. So what was that? Tuesday, Wednesday, it kind of got beat down and it recovered. A little bit for Thursday, kind of went inside, slight to it, but it's kind of really inside candle because we're still kind of inside of Thursday's range. But we could break out, maybe come back up to the 54, which would mean, your pretty much all your finance stocks are moving, like your JPM, Berkshire Hathaway, Goldman Sachs, MasterCard, Visa, all of those stocks could be trending upwards for this week. So keep an eye on the financial sector and where we might go starting tomorrow. Okay. All right. So let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft is one of my could be a potential big trade this week, right? If we look at the time frame, we're red on all accounts, I believe. Let's look at the hour and just double check. Except we're green on the hour, right? So we could be showing a potential reversal and come back up, because we got a gap to fill, right? We were at 480, now we're at 430. So we got a potential $50 swing on Microsoft, which could be very profitable for us depending on how tech responds tomorrow, right? So inside candle here, we got some consolidation. So we just want to keep an eye on Microsoft. And if we potentially pass, let's see, this will be 439. We could potentially be looking up. And that is if we're coming back up on the 2 up, right? The previous day high would be kind of a passing the 2 up, which will make it 2 up. So I probably will be looking, if we look at halfway, where's my little, this one? I'm trying to see the one that I can, price range. All right. So we're looking. So we're looking at the price range, which is 13, right? So 13 here. So we'll be looking at probably 7. Let's do like 6.8. We can go right here. Right here. All right. So if we pass, let's go ahead and put I don't want this. Let's put an alert. We'll check the option chain. So I like to put alerts because a lot of times I'm at work during the day. So on my phone, I can get alerts when it's always good to set alerts, unless you can watch the stock all day. Set alert, or even then set alerts because you might be busy to let you know where a stock is trending upwards or going below a certain point. So that lets me know if I need to get out of contract or if I hit a target or something like that. We definitely want to set an alert. So yeah, we'll set an alert here. If it reverses back where we're at 430, if it comes back up to 433, that could be something that we're kind of trading upwards, and we could be getting back to 439, 442 range, and that could be a potentially good profit. So I'm gonna put that on there on Microsoft. But Microsoft is something I want to watch this week, right? We could potentially even go all the way back up to, the 445, excuse me, 452 range. And that'd be good profit from this one, right? Good reversal on the week for Microsoft. All right, moving on to UNH. UNH also is full-time continuity red. Let's look at the hour, see if we're looking at any potential reversals. It's all red except on the 4 hour. All right. So we touched down, and as we know, UNH has been getting beat up since its earnings, but we're just waiting for the reversal. So we had a daily high of 293. So we could come all the way back up to 294. So we're going to keep an eye on UNH. I think the contracts are pretty cheap on UNH. So it's not one of my top 10 stocks this week, but I traded UNH last week. We made money on one, we lost on one. So the second loss was on mine. Like I said, I thought we could potentially be trying to fill back this big gap here, right? So We can fill this gap all the way back up to 300, y'all. So we definitely want to keep UNH on the ticker list for this week. All right, moving forward, we're going to Snow. Snow has been getting beat up. This is also full time frame continuity red, and we're also here. We've dipped into this order block here. And as you can see, we can maybe go as low as 188, but if it goes to 188, it might touch and then come back up. So we definitely want to keep our eye on Snow. Snow is also very affordable. If we look at the option chain here, it's not heavy, where we have thousands of contracts, but we have enough volume where we can get a contract or two. And then, we have a high volume this week on the 6th ending on 9:55. So not ending on 9:55, but at 9:55 and also at 2:15, 2:05, 2:15 are strikes. We can make look like there's a lot of volume. You can make some money, and there might be even more volume next week on Snow. So Snow is still going to stay on the chart. I think we had Snow last week. Snow will still stay here. Touched a high 233, 223, came down 190, and we could see reverse back up to 203. So $10 change. We definitely want to keep our eye on Snow this week. Snow is also on my top 10 list, but like I said, I'll go over the top 10 list at the end of the live. Our Oracle is in the same spot as Snow. Hold on, let's look at Snow one more time. Let me make sure we didn't look at the hour chart. Yeah, it's beat up on the hour, so came down, right? We're under the VWAP, right? On Friday, we look like we may be able to go down, but as Friday showed, we dipped on that. So this is a VWAP line, so we got the estimated, the EMAs running. My EMAs is set at like at 5 and 9, and it's color coded, right? So we've had, I think this is the 5-day EMA. We've crossed down the VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price. So we are below that. So if we look to get above, let's say, what's the 25% mark? Oh, no, let's do this. Come back down here. So that's 12. 50 would be 6. So it's 197. So 3, if we divide it by 4, so 9, where would 9 be? See, if we get back up on Snow, if we come back up here, let's add an alert. Let's be a little more conservative. 195, 194. Let's do that. Let's put an alert. We're gonna look at the price. When I say 194, 194.6. I'm gonna check the option chain here. All right, so that'll let us know, maybe we're reversing to come back up to maybe to the daily 50%, which wouldn't be 50% on this, but on that previous day. But anyway, we're coming back up maybe to 204, 206, and we can make some money on Snow that way. All right, going back to Oracle. Oracle, it's kind of been beat up, right? So, not the 2 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour. So we have full time frame, mostly continuity to the downside. So we could be reversing on Oracle. Where could we go on the daily? We could potentially go back up to maybe 168 or potentially 170 on a reversal on Oracle. We want to keep a watch on that. Not a lot of, let's see. Let's look at the daily volume. So the volumes are creeping up. What you have down here is kind of weighted volume. Let me see. Yeah, so this is RVol. RVol is kind of like a relative volume instead of like exact volume. So it has like and what I have here is like the EMAs moving average. If it's above here, right, then we're having a lot more volume than usual on that particular day. So um, on, we had a consolidating candle here, which means, it could be targeting to go up or down. I presume it's going to go up. So we'll be looking at Oracle tomorrow. Oracle is on my top 10 trade list this week. All right, so keep your eye on Oracle. Like I said, on a daily, we could be targeting coming back up to 168 to 170. For the week, let's see. For the week, we could come all the way back up to, that's where we are, 173, 178, 180. So we could get all the way back up to 180. So keep your eye on Oracle just in case reversing. I think they have earnings, they don't have earnings until March. So like I said, Oracle's been getting beat up, but keep your eye on the reversal. So we want to wait for the reversal on Oracle. Oracle is on the list. Let's see. And I usually try to color code things of where I think it might be going. Flag. It could be green. Tesla. I don't know. Eli Lilly. I don't know. Microsoft. We're looking for it to go green. UNH. We're looking for it to go green. Snow. We're looking for it to go green. Oracle. We are also looking for it to go green. All right. Next on the list is AMD. AMD is not on my target list, but AMD has earnings Tuesday, so it could flash up and then bomb, right? So we might take a flyer on AMD bombing for earnings. And also I want to make everybody aware, I have to do a video where some of these contracts, let's do AMD. I don't know if AMD is one. No, AMD is not one. So some of these contracts like Microsoft, and I'll do a video on this. Microsoft, kind of your maybe nvda, kind of like your big stocks are now having daily trades like on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, similar to like gold. Gold and silver, they trade on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have so many that have contracts, which means, excuse me, you may be able to get into Microsoft, Nvidia, and all of these, Meta, all of these high level stocks at a lower cost if you want to do dailies, day trading. So, now these are becoming very heavy day trades for us, right? So, your Microsofts, your Nvidias, Amazons, Teslas, and things like that. Let me see, is Tesla on the week, on the daily? Yeah, see, Tesla's on the daily. That's why I said we can look at Tesla on the daily, right? And we could possibly get into Tesla, right? We don't have to go so far out on a weekly just for Tesla. So big ups to Robinhood for doing that. It makes it a lot more interesting when we're looking at some of these tickers. We can jump into certain stocks that might move around on the daily. So that's a heads up for everybody. Like I said, AMD, it could go either way, but we're just looking at it has earnings and it might come down on Tuesday or something like that. Earnings, it went up. Earnings, so it's a mixed bag, but AMD has kind of been moving the past couple of weeks, so we might want to get in on some of the AMD action. But it is definitely on the list just in case it pops down to 202, comes down. We just want to watch it. And let's look at the hour. Right, so it could be reversing or it could be going down. We have an order block here. We also have an order block here. So either way, right, could fall back up this way or come back down a little bit. If it comes back down, this will be a big loss. Let's look at AMD. How expensive is AMD? It's pretty expensive, so I won't be focused on this, but we definitely gonna have it on the list just in case we want to keep watch. All right, next is Amazon. Amazon, I believe, also when is earnings till 2 weeks? No, earnings is on Thursday, so Amazon has earnings on Thursday. This is on my top 10 list. So with Amazon, we could go a few different ways, right? So it's kind of go on the day. Let's look at the day time frame. It's kind of sideways here, right? So this is a 2 technically, but it kind of looks like a 1 to me. So, we could go up and maybe hit around this 248, 250 range and possibly go to 258 if it has excellent earnings, or we could actually go down some more to 234 and potentially back down to 230. Right, we'll pass up the weekly 50%. So also it's kind of below the daily, the previous day, which is Thursday, 50%. So it could come down. We could look at Amazon coming down Monday. So, but Amazon, we can make some money on Amazon. Let me see. Amazon is also one of those. Look, 245, very cheap contract, $38. If we go expiration on Monday, so something we want to have on the list. Looking at Monday, checking out Amazon. So Amazon is on my top 10s list this week. Roku is also on my top 10 list. Roku has been beat up, so I've made money on Roku. Right. So daily, weekly, monthly is red. Quarterly, we're still up a little bit. I'm looking to see where we could bounce. I'm looking for that bounce. Right. It looks like it wanted to maybe do something, but we'll know tomorrow. Maybe it'll come back down to 94. And I'm looking forward to come all the way back up to 97. $2 movement on Roku. You can make some good money on Roku. All right. Roku's contracts are pretty cheap. We go to 105.34. Ended on the week. So this is something you could get in a little early and then wait on the week for it, for it to come back up. 97, maybe even get back up to 100. Definitely want to keep our eye on Roku. It's on one on my top 10 list as well. Amazon, what do we say on Amazon? What do we say for it? We'll say yellow. Amazon is also yellow. Because it can go either way. Roku, we're looking for Roku to go green. All right, Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo's not on my top 10 list. Wells Fargo is kind of, it recovered on Thursday. A lot of stocks recovered on Thursday. Kind of went sideways on Friday. All right, so we still have a gap to fill here from 90 to 93, or potentially might come up here and stop around 93. So we stopped around 91. Some of the previous highs here, daily highs, not highs, but daily highs. We could come back up to 93 for Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is usually cheap. Let's look and see. Implied volatility is low, cheap again. So, so I don't know. We might put Wells Fargo might be an honorable mention. Wells Fargo might be an honorable mention. And Amazon is an honorable mention too. It's not really part of the top 10, so I'm going to put those stars by honorable mentions. Amazon and Wells Fargo. I might even just get some cheap contracts on Wells Fargo. Maybe get like 2 $10 contracts and just hold it for the week and see if we can get back up to 93. Because if we get back up to 93, that's 200% earnings or 200% profit potentially. So we're going to look at it. We're going to keep watch of it in the finance sector tomorrow. JPM is still on the list. Like I said, JPM has that gap, still has that gap to fill. Right? Coming all the way back here, 311, 312. If finance go up, JPM will go up. And JPM is very affordable. Not as cheap as Wells Fargo, but it's very affordable at the 310, 315, 312 strike price. Let's look here. Where we at? Yep, 310, 312, 315. Still has a good amount of volume for JPM. So JPM is on the list. It's not on the top 10 list, but it is on the list to watch. We're looking for it to go green, to go back up. It could very well go down. We'll see tomorrow, but we're looking for it to hit back up to 308 and potentially go back up to 311, 312. Nvidia is always going to be on the list. Like I said, it could come back down. It could go back up. If we go back up 196, right, or even get back up to 193, 190 in this little range. Like I said, Nvidia now has contracts that expire on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so we can definitely make some good money on Nvidia. If it decides to, if it decides to move up or down, right? So Nvidia popped up. Was this Thursday? Then ran it up, then ran back down, and are running back up. So it could dip down, it could go back up, but we probably want to look, keep our eye on Nvidia. So I'll keep watching this, and I'll let everyone know what we come across on Nvidia. All right, but Nvidia is always going to be on the list because you could just make good bread off of Nvidia. All right, QBTS is not on the list, but QBTS has been beat up, and it's looking like on the hour it wanted to reverse. Right, QBTS has good volume. As you can see here, we got a lot of volume. Well, we do have some puts here, right? But there's a lot of volume here. See, 1800, 2000. We still got some open interest. So people are looking for QBTS to reverse. Let's see. That's crazy. We're getting here at 25, where the ask and bid are relatively reasonable, right? At 25. Let's see where QBTS can go. QBTS can reverse and come back up to 23. If it comes back up to 23, that's almost 200% profit or 100% profit. So I definitely will be looking at QBTS, although it's not on a top 10 list. It very well could be. It could be an honorable mention. Let's put it as an honorable mention here. Okay. But it's definitely looking like it wants to potentially reverse out this order block and get back up to 23. Where could it go on the week if we reversed? Excuse me. So we, like I said, we could back up to 24, 23, 24 on a week. So keep your eye on QBTS. Apple, we had a 3 on the day for Apple. So it could be looking to reverse to go back up to 270, 280. And Apple is also one of the daily that you can trade on 246. So tomorrow, Apple could be an honorable mention, especially if it wants to get back up to above 262, can come back up to 264, 265. So Apple is going to stay on the chart just because it has daily contracts. So look at the hour. Looking like it wanted to kind of reverse and go back up. It touched it and came back down. Let's look at the 4 hour. So we are coming back here. We could be coming back here to 262 and beyond. So we definitely want to watch. I'll be watching Apple tomorrow to see if we can get back up to 267 like we had on Wednesday. We definitely want to keep a watch on Apple. PLTR has been beat up. PLTR is not on the list, but it could be an honorable mention. Like PLTR could go stupid, y'all. PLTR, it has earnings win on Monday. Oh my God. How did we miss this one, y'all? It is already down. Let's see, what did it have on earnings? So PLTR, we might have to put this might have to be, I know I got 10, but PLTR might be on that list. Right? Let me see. PLTR better not have. Okay. They were smart. I'm gonna say PLTR, and we got a lot of volume on these, right? Damn, how can you go PLTR? It's a lot of volume, guys, on PLTR. PLTR might be the trade of the week. It might be the trade of the week. I'm sorry, I was thinking Microsoft. PLTR might be the trade of the week. We definitely want to keep an eye on, put the horn for PLTR. We definitely want to have PLTR on the list. This chart looks fabulous. A lot of money can be made on PLTR. I don't know the strikes and stuff. We'll have to get into tomorrow. Let's keep an eye on PLTR. I am interested to see if we pass a 20. Where did it end? It came down, but let's do here. So that's 4. Let's say to 148.45. I'm gonna check the option chain on here, because we can come back up to 157. So 157. Then we can get all the way back up to 164 in one day, which could be 200%. PLTR. We're gonna watch PLTR. We're gonna watch PLTR. This could be a banger. Could be a banger. But it's really only 200%. I don't know how much a banger. I don't know if that's gonna be a trade of the week, unless it goes to 180, which I doubt. 170. Let's look at the weekly. Sorry guys, I know we got a few more tickers to get to, but this could be huge. 170, 168, 170, 171. 178, 180. It could come back up to 180, y'all. This is a contract I might want to hold, but we'll see. We'll see. Last week we tried to hold Apple, we got screwed. So the crazy thing with PLTR is, oh my god, when it went green, and what is this? What was this? August? It went stupid. Where'd it go? 158 to 188.30. So it could go to 170, y'all. What does 170 look like? 500%. Earnings report is tomorrow. Is it tomorrow in the morning? Oh my goodness. It's after close. So we might take a flyer. We might take a flyer on this PLTR, y'all. Might take a flyer on PLTR. All right, Hood. Hood is also on the list. Hood is part of the finance sector. As you can see, Hood came all the way down. Full time frame continuity red. So we are looking for a reversal on Hood. All right, came down, touched 98, bounced back up. We could come back up to 104, right? 100, 104, and then maybe go up a little higher. So definitely be looking at Hood. And Hood is one of the ones that can definitely reverse and go back into this range. It's 107, 108 range for this week, right? So I'll definitely have Hood on the list. I'm kind of confident that it will reverse and go back here. I could be wrong, could come back down, touch 95, but we're definitely, especially since it being part of finance, we definitely want to keep an eye on Hood. That's one of my top trades for this week. And when I say top trades, I'm thinking the direction that I believe is going to go, I have high confidence in it. Next is Shop. Look at this. This could be a beautiful week. I'm not gonna hold y'all. This could be a beautiful week. This is earnings. This could be a beautiful earnings week, right? If we stick to our principles, take our profits when we need to. Um, we made money on Shopify last week, right? It took a tank on Friday, but look at all this room. We can get back. We could definitely get back to 144. We can get back to 138. It's just we got room. I mean, it's coming. It may even come back down. Let's see. 127. It could come back down to 127, right? Because it's this gap here. There was a gap here. It might come back through this gap. Or it could reverse, right? I'm thinking it's going to reverse and let's go back up. When it's earnings is not this week, but next week. So keep my eye on Shopify. Shopify is on the top 10 list. Next, we got Pins. Pins has been getting beat up. I don't really like to trade Pins. Look at this, because a lot of times it just kind of goes sideways. But Pins contracts are very cheap, right? And if it does reverse, you know, I don't see a lot of volume. What's this on 20, 25? So there's a good amount of volume on 25.5. So it could reverse, and you don't need a lot of money. It doesn't need to move a lot to make money on Pins. Let's see. We had a low 250, high two, so it might move $1. Let's see. What is $1? $1 is a lot. 150%. So got to put Pins on the list. It's an opportunity to make money on Pins. Pins move has a lot of volume, and it has increased volume in the past couple of days. So if we start to get into that, what's this, 18 or 20 to 40 range, we can start to see these big moves on Pins. So definitely keep Pins on your watch list. It's not top 10 for me, but definitely can make some money on Pins next week. SoFi is probably one of my top trades this week. Earnings came down, so what comes down must go up. I believe there's a lot of optimism in. Look at this. I mean, they have some puts here, but there's a lot of volume on. Look at these contracts too. Low cost, and I could just look at contract price on here. I've been tripping. Why am I looking at other stuff? Look, I don't have to necessarily go and look on here. Just look here for profit. But so far, I mean, we got contracts 44.31. These are very good cost points for us, y'all. This is right up our wheelhouse. So nothing more to say. You know, where could we potentially go? We might come back on a daily. We could come back up to 25, right? Or 24, 24, 20, 24, 25. So far. We make some good money. 200% if it goes up to 24. Definitely interested in SoFi. I will keep watching this in the morning. And let you guys. I might not be able to do a live. I might do a live tomorrow. We might do live tomorrow and just kind of watch things and see how it goes in the market tomorrow. That'll be interesting. Do a live trading. What y'all think? Live trading thing tomorrow? That'll be interesting. Okay. I might do live tomorrow. We'll do a live. We'll do a live. All right. SoFi is on my list. Snap was on my list, but I had to think to myself, I don't really like Snap like that. But we're at this is a 52-week low. We're at a 52-week low, right? So a lot of volume on Snap. Oof, eight $8 call. What's the if it get to 8? I don't know if it'll get to 8 back to $8 though. But even if it don't get to 8, if it gets back up to 7, let's see. Yeah. Snap. Keep your eye on Snap. Good volume. Oh, they got earnings too. Whoa, this could get back to $8. What's $8? 141%. We might take a flyer on Snap. Keep Snap on your list. Snap look like it's ready to come back up. Earnings uh, here kind of shot up. So this is part of course for Snap, right? It goes down, and then earnings it flashes back up. When is earnings? Wednesday. So I don't know. Snap. We might have to put Snap back on the list. I like to do top 10, but I don't know. We might have top 15 this week. Snap looks good. Let's go to you. Oh, look at this. Look at this. You crashed on Friday. Oh my God. Let me see something. Let's check Google AI and see why did you crash on Friday? Experienced significant drop on Friday, largely driven by broader market volatility, investor uncertainty following major political and economic event. Right, focus. Federal Reserve uncertainty, markets reacting negatively to the knowledge. Federal Reserve investors are currently digesting how leadership might affect future interest rate paths. Sector-wide sell-off, unities declines for a larger. Okay, so we've seen them. Earnings anticipation. While not sold, calls tech stocks are to speak. They lean up to earnings while following major earnings report guidance should take profits. Traders take profits or hedge against potential downside. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So we don't really know, but we're gonna keep our eye on you. You has it's high volatility. Um, but if we can get in where the prices kind of settle tomorrow, you can definitely make some money on you. So you is on the watch list. It isn't. I don't have it on my top 10 list, but we definitely want to watch it because it could reverse back up and could make some money. Let's see, what if you came back up to 35? How much money can we make on 35? Oh, it might be one of the trades of the week, y'all. Could make some money on you. Make sure you got you on your list. Now we're last 4. I've kind of went over like 20 minutes over what I plan to do for this video. But, we're trying to make money, so we need to look at everything. DraftKings. I'm going to take DraftKings off. DraftKings I looked at it yesterday. It was on my top 10 list, but I'm going to take it off. Compared to what we just seen from, Snap and Palantir, we're going to take DraftKings off. But as you can see, DraftKings hitting this order block down here, looking for a potential reversal to get back up to 30, potentially back up to 31 on the day, on the week. Where are we on the week? On a week, it could get back up to 32, 33. So DraftKings is a good. Let me see, is there earnings anytime soon? Okay, DraftKings has earnings on Thursday, so it could drop to run it up. There's a lot of stocks on here, y'all. A lot of stocks where you can make some good money. Got a lot of volume here. Kind of want these contract prices to kind of mellow out. Let's go 29.5, $18. And let's say for the week we get up to 30, 33. We get back up to 33. How much money can we make on that? Oh, shoot. Hold on. We got to put, look at these numbers, y'all. We got to put DraftKings back. We got to put it back on the list, y'all. I see why I put it there yesterday. I'm sorry. This might be a trade of a week, too. If we can get back to 32, 33, like this is a 10x, 15, 18x. We got to take a DraftKings contract. We got to. Earnings has not looked favorable for DraftKings, though. Let's ask chat or ask Google AI. Predictions for fourth quarter earnings from they expected to report a significant year-over-year increase in earnings, with consensus estimating 50. This will be a sharp recovery from the lost revenue in the quarter. Ooh. Price target revisions. They lowered this target to 42 from $45, citing a more conservative outlook for 2026. While Stifle adjusted to 44, mainly bullish at 53. While DraftKings remains leader, and so monitor competitor for fan. We gotta take DraftKings, y'all. We have to take DraftKings. We're gonna wait for the perfect entry. But yeah, DraftKings is up there. Banger. Might be top 5. I'm gonna have to narrow it down to top 5. I'm gonna do top 5 for a shorts video on YouTube. Oh, DraftKings top 5. Wow. All right. Last 3, RVN looks pretty good. RVN could come back down a little bit. It's a high low. All right, we hit a high low. Well, we had a double top, explode. Now we might reverse back up 17. So keep your eye on Rivian. Rivian is something we want to. This is automotive. Keep on our list. Next is Cipher Mining. Cipher Mining. It's been trading large range. We just want to keep our eye on it. In case it wants to reverse back up, you can make some money on Cipher Mining. Contracts are pretty cheap. If you come back up 100%, definitely keep it on your list. Keep your eye on it. Coinbase is an honorable mention. More so, it's been beat up, and so has Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, keep your eye on it. I think it's the lowest it's been in like a year. So when Bitcoin moves, Coinbase will move as well. So definitely keep your eye on Coinbase this week. All right. So we're getting close to the end of this video. Almost been here for an hour. I appreciate you guys for checking everything out. All right. So let's look at our top 10. All right. So top 10, we're going to have some honorable mentions in here. Top 10, Microsoft, right? Microsoft got beat up. When he comes back, we expect Microsoft to come back up and maybe touch, get back to the 450s at least, right? And potentially get back up to 480 this week, right? This is what we anticipate for Microsoft. So definitely, and Microsoft also has weekly or daily contracts. So cheap contracts, we in there. Wow. All right. Next we have on the list Snow. He says Snow can be looking to reverse. Has earnings this week. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. Has earnings. It's on the week chart. Has earnings in about at the beginning of March, so we could see it's kind of touched back here. So we could be looking to follow back up. We have an engulfing candle. We have a 3, so 3s are usually indicative of a reversal. So I'm believing it's going to probably reverse on to the upside. Okay. Could be a 1, 2 or 1, 3, 2 reversal. See reverse strat reversal. There we go. So we want to keep our eye on Snow. Also looking at Oracle. Oracle doesn't have earnings to March 2, but Oracle could also reverse. So we're keeping our eye on Oracle. Could make some big money. We can turn this back up into, 192, 200, 40 point price swing. So we definitely want to keep our eye on Oracle. Amazon, honorable mention. Amazon could go either way. It has earnings on Thursday. So, Amazon could go either way. It could go down in anticipation for earnings, or it could maybe go back up. So we got a widespread. We got a 20-point swing either way, right? So we definitely want to keep our eye on Amazon, and Amazon, I believe, also has, maybe not, maybe Amazon doesn't have. Oh yes, Amazon has daily contracts, so we can get an Amazon pretty cheap. So that's why Amazon is an honorable mention, but it's not technically on the list because we don't know which way it's going, but it could be on the list, depending on how you look at it. Next is Roku. We're looking for Roku to potentially reverse. All right, we had a 3 at 95. We can get back up to 100 if we look at the daily. All right, we can get back up to 100 and possibly back up to 107, 108 for Roku. And Roku has good price contracts, so we definitely want to look at Roku. Wells Fargo can get back up to 93, 94, which would be, all right, we can get contract here at 94 call. Finance is looking to recover a little bit. If it gets back into this gap, I think there are quite a little bit of volume on it. 91, 92, yeah. Not as much put volume. Maybe on, okay, got some put volume on the 84 strike. But as you can see here, right, these contracts are cheap. $96, $7 a contract. You could buy, I don't know, 4, 5 of those, $30. Let's see if we buy. Let's say we bought 5 of those, then went back up to 93, so $60, 200% profit, easy. Easy on that one. Let's see, or you can get 95, get that profit. That's a little more risky. We'll say 95C. 95C for Wells Fargo. Looks pretty good. All right. What else do we have on the list? QBTS been beat up. Got a lot of volume on QBTS going back up. At least to the 23, 24 range, possibly 25. It's at 20 run right now. You can make good money on QBTS. All right. 24. Get back up here. Good money. QBTS is definitely on the list. PLTR is next. PLTR has been beat up past couple of days. Right, we're kind of at a support point. So QBTR starts to go up past 148. We could be trading backwards into They also have earnings on Monday, so this might be a banger trade. Monday, I mean, if it dipped down, we're watching to see if it dipped down or go up. If it dips down, we're for sure going to get some contracts. Also, I think PLTR is part of the group. Okay, no, it's not part of the group that has daily trades. So we might be able to get it in 180 PLTR. Take a flyer on PLTR and 180 to see if it bounce all the way back up to 180. It'll be great. It'd be great for us at the beginning of the week. $59 for this contract. Let's see if it dips a little bit more, so maybe we can get it at 40. If it jumps all the way back up to 180, could be a banger 10x trade. 4 to 10x on PLTR. It's one of the banger trades of the week. Hood is also on the list. Hood, as you can see, has been beat up, part of the finance sector. Definitely looking at a 3 for a reversal from 99 all the way back up to 108 to 112. So definitely looking at Hood for this week. Also Shopify. Shopify took a sharp turn on Friday. Could definitely from 131 can turn back into or get back into the 138, 144 range on Shopify. So we'll keep our eye on that. That is also one of our top 10 trades. This week, SoFi, part of finance, got beat up after earnings. So it could look to reverse. Can make a lot of money on SoFi if it comes back into the $25, $26 range. A lot of money to be made on SoFi. So SoFi is on the top 10 list. We're going to keep our eye on you. Took a big beating on Friday. We have 80 million sold on you. So I want to keep our eye on you. We went past the order block here. So we could see hit a strong low, reverse a little bit. You could get back into the gap. We could see it go back up as high as 35, 36, which would make a lot of money on you. Let's see, 35, 34. That contract makes no sense. We gotta let the spreads make sense. Let's say 35, and it gets back up into the 35 range. So we're looking at potentially 1 to potentially 4x on you. So definitely have that on the list. Same thing with DraftKings. DraftKings could also be one of the trades of the week. Could be one of the top 5. I will also narrow down the top 5. Like I said, I'll put that in more of a short. We're going to do a top 5. And DKNG is in there. So it's right now at 27. It could also go back up to 30 and potentially higher, back up to 32. And we could see maybe 5 to 10x profit on DraftKings. The DraftKings is cheap because it's been beat up. So keep your eyes on DraftKings. And DraftKings has earnings not this week, but the next week. So we could run it up on DraftKings. Keep your eye on DraftKings. All right. And I believe that is the top 10. Oh, Rivian. Rivian is another honorable mention. I don't know if it's top 10 or not. Honorable mention on Rivian. Rivian has kind of been beat up past couple of 2 weeks. Could be looking to reverse as we hit this order block here. Could be looking to reverse and get back to $16, $17 and possibly even $18 on the week. Okay. All right. That's it for this particular live rundown. Hope you guys found this video helpful. Like I said, check the description. I will have a link posted for this TradingView chart. And you don't have to pay for TradingView. TradingView is free, but you can only get like 2 tickers. And I think you are relegated to, I don't think your data updates as quick as everybody else's. I could be wrong. But you can use it for free. You can also get 2 indicators, and I'll post a video on which tickers I would use if I only had 2 tickers to choose from. I think that's what you get with the free version. It used to be 3, but now I think it's 2 on the free version. If you want your chart to kind of look like this, I can get you something similar. It won't look like this. I have 9 I have 9 units, but we'll get to that. Catch you guys on the next video. Appreciate you for listening and watching. Hope you guys have a profitable week. Peace.